All right, America versus the world. Today, we're going to be talking about the difference between the American culture and then our culture and the rest of the world culture. Welcome to the Asian King podcast. My name is Vadim,
And my name is Huggins Valcourt, but Huggins for short.
and all right, bro, this is what I want to talk about. First, I want to talk about friendship. Listen to this. In my estimation, I think it's only 10% of the people of the United States that experience true friendship. The rest, I don't think they even know what friendship is. So the same people they call friend, they be talking with them, explain all their life stories, and then when they turn around, they start talking shit about him. This is not friendship. Why? Because true friends don't talk shit about friends behind their backs. So I think it's because they don't have that. I want to go back, like, if I'm going to give a good example, like for instance in Haiti, right? I think it's based on the school system. Like when you go to school, you sit down with the people next to you for the next 10 months. So you don't go to the teacher. The teacher come to you, right? So therefore, let's say for instance, you got those benches where we all sit together. You probably have like 4 people you're sitting with, and then you got like the classroom can have like 20, 30, sometimes like 50, people in it. I mean, if you under like the government school, they'd be like 100,
Oh no,
150.
my school never pushed it that far. I think my school for the most part, granted I went to a private school in Haiti. My school for the most, and I'm 100% sure about that, had 42 people. You want to know I know why? Because my last name was start with a V, and I was the 41st person.
Yeah, see, so therefore, let's say for instance you spend 10 months with this guy. Let's say if it's your first year in this school, right? First year you sit down with this guy, you just started talking. The first week you start getting to know each other, right? By like 2-3 months, this guy next to you and all these people already know everything about you, right? They know when you're sad, they know when you're happy, they know when you're hungry, they know all these things. So now imagine, so you got 40 people in the class. So by the time the whole 10 months, you might have be like best friend with all of them, but the people next to you, you're gonna best friend with. Then imagine you go to the next class. Guess what? I will sit down next to you. Yo, man, we're gonna sit down again next to each other, right? So and then like 3, 4, 5 years you spend in that school, everybody become like the people you fuck with, they all become best friends. So now when you hungry, they know. When the shit's going bad, they know. Happy, sad, all of that. I'm gonna give you like when I was in the government school at one point, literally, bro. So let's say if you like, we had a system. If you come in, you don't have no money. It was like 8 of us. You don't have no money. You say, man, today I had no money. Everybody give you $1. So now you got $8, bro. You eating good, right? So let's say they don't do it like. And we're not doing it in the sense like, like get one on each other. You know what I mean? Like when you say like I'm hungry, the guy really mean it. You know what I mean? So sometimes like everybody got money. But when somebody say they don't have money, we all contributed to that. And nobody talks shit about each other. We all here. If you got something to say, you let them know in their face. So that's what I think of here. Let's say when they go to school, they go to the teacher. So they spend like an hour with this, an hour with that person. And then you never really built true friendship, like literally like true friendship where they like know. And that's what I think in my estimation. That's what I think. They can be so-called friends and still talk shit about them.
In my experience dealing with American people, like when they talk about being friends, one thing I've always noticed is like you'll see somebody call somebody a friend and you're like, oh, that's your friend. Oh, but I met him 2 days ago. And I'm like, what? How dare you call that person a friend and yet you barely know them? Or we went to high school together, but we ain't talked in the past 2 years, but yet we still quote unquote friends. And the word friends is like a word that's like a cheap word to my understanding in America because everybody use it to where they can't quite tell the difference between somebody being an acquaintance and somebody being a friend. Because I feel like they feel like if they know you, quote unquote, you're a friend. But I don't think they ever took the time to analyze what the word friend means. Because we came from Haiti and we speak a different language. So therefore, friends, what we mean by friends, which is the word zami in Creole and ami in French, is that guy that got my back no matter what.
Yeah.
That guy that gonna roll by me no matter what. That guy I can just come to and be my
Yeah.
utterly non what's the word? Like you don't have to fake it in front of that person. You can just come to them and then just keep it 100%, but no matter fucking like no matter what, to where they'll tell you, nah, man, I wouldn't do this. Oh yeah, man, we on this. Like no matter what, nigga, we got you. Let's roll. And that's what to me, or at least what I've learned the meaning of friendship to be. But out here, a funny story. Short, funny story. When I first started dating my girlfriend, she told me somebody was her best friend. And I'm like, oh, okay. And she was like, yeah, so-and-so's my best friend. And I'm like, how long you been knowing her? Oh, about 2 years. Oh, okay. So how often do you all talk? Oh, we talk once every 3-4 months. And I'm like, what?
That's not your best friend.
How the hell is that there to be your best friend? But it's kind of like one of those things where people just call somebody their friend just for the fact that they know them. But for the most part, being friends, like the friends is in my opinion, it's like a sacred word.
Yeah.
But to the American culture, they don't look at it like that. They just look at it like, if I know you, I know your first name, your last name, and
Yeah, if they talk to you like one time.
yeah, one time or
like
2 times, so therefore you're my friends. And
Yeah.
I don't think that's the matter at all. But that's how they look at it. But like for me, like I've said, friends is somebody who gets your back no matter what. Friends is somebody that's gonna go to above and beyond with you no matter what. Friends is that person like whenever you see him, you don't mind talking to him. It's kind of like you don't feel like the need to be certain type of somebody. You don't feel like they need to be somebody. You can be yourself. You can be your utterly self no matter what. And then they will accept you no matter what. To where they're gonna keep it 100 with you. They will let you know what they think about what you did or how they feel about what you did, whether they agree or disagree, and then we can move forward. You never felt the fear of being judged. Because I feel like if I'm talking to a friend, whatever the hell they say about me, it's not a judgment. It's an observation.
That's where the mostly I struggle here a lot. I don't mind if you want to talk shit about me. It's fine, cool. Talk this shit, right? Stay over there. Because to me, like family is sacred, right? Like if I'm gonna say to somebody, hey man, how you doing? How's the wife? How's the kid? How's your mom? Some ways I care about you. So to me, it's sacred, right? So if you talking shit about somebody, they do it here a lot. And then when you see me and you're like, hey man, how's your family? How's your mom? How's the kids? Bro, get the fuck out of here, man. Come on. I feel like most disrespect in the sense. Like, you're not my friend. So if you can talk shit behind my back, and when you see me and you're trying to pretend and asking me those, like, about my family, bro, that's a whole nother level.
I believe they got a word for it. It's called, at least from what I've learned, it's called a word of affirmation. And what it means by that is a lot of people go within this life with just hearing words to where they never stop for a split of a second and ask themselves if those words are real. Let's just say right now, what you're wearing all black and yellow. Let's just say I'm like, hey man, I see you're wearing like yellow and blue. I like it. Or I see you wearing black and white. I like it. Don't you think in the back of your mind for a split of a second you're gonna stop and wonder, hold on, I'm not wearing black and white. I'm wearing black and yellow. So what the hell he said that for? But what I mean by word of affirmation is people seek compliments to where they lack confidence so much to where they seek what somebody gonna say about them that's gonna make them feel good. They don't stop and wonder whether what that person is saying is true or not. They stop and wonder whether they said it. But at the same time, they never stop and think about it. Okay, that what that person said make no sense. People seek compliments. They seek what I said, words of affirmation. They seek that shit that somebody gonna say about them that's gonna make them feel good about themselves. All those people, right? Whether they work together, whether they go to church together, it doesn't matter what the hell they do together. And then to where from the outside looking at it, they may seem like they're friends, but they're not. You'll see somebody sit there and then talk to somebody, hang out with somebody to where you can just look at them and think to yourself, oh, they're friends. And then the moment that person walks away, their true opinion comes out to where like their whatever it is they gotta say about that person truly comes out to where you can't really trust it. And you're like, dude, you were just sitting there talking to that guy and laughing and having the best time with him. So therefore, why in the hell you didn't tell that person how you truly felt?
Yeah, right thing to do.
But they never said that too. I'm like, dude, you were sitting here having a good time with that guy. You guys were laughing, having a good time. So therefore, if there was something about that person you felt like that needed to be said, that was your opportunity right there to say it. And I know sometimes people say it's not what you said or how you said it, but there's a way you could have said it to where you let that person know how you felt.
Yeah, instead of
I
think even worse. The argument here is just they don't want to hurt your feelings. So I think you hurt my feelings even more when somebody else tell me you talking shit about me. But here it's even crazier because when you say like, they's talking shit about you. They're like, yeah, everybody talking shit about each other. It's like, it's not a normal thing. They make it become normal.
But like I said, it's part
To
of the
me, it's
culture.
crazy.
It's part of the culture. It's part of the culture. The culture is that one thing I've learned when I first got here is if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. And I'm sure you've heard that shit.
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
So
But
therefore, that belief is if you got something about somebody that you feel or perhaps you want to express about that person, you want to divulge about that person, you cannot say it if you feel like it's somewhat negative, whether you truly believe in it or not. Let's just say if you show up to a party and you're wearing dresses that got, like you're wearing clothes that got holes in them. Don't you think as your friend, I should come up to you and be like, what the hell are you wearing, dude? Like you look like a homeless person?
yeah, it should be.
But see, that's the thing. They don't do that. They don't really let their true self express themselves to where it's kind of like however the hell they feel.
Look.
If they
I can
feel
understand. I can understand your argument at some point. So let's say, for instance, I don't, he's not my friend. I don't fuck with that guy. He's over there wearing some fucked up ass shit. I'm not gonna go over there and tell him. I mean, it's none of my business, right? So I can say like, yo, look at what the fuck is he wearing? I can just say that he's not my friend. But if you're my friend, true friend, I'm gonna come in like, bro, what the fuck you wearing, man? You look like a homeless person. I can be able to say that. It's not like hurting your feeling, but it's true. Like me and you. So if we got something going on, if I feel like you did something I didn't like, what I say? Hey man, shit, man, I didn't like the way what you did, what you said. It was kind of fucked up. I'd be like, and you probably at the time like, oh damn, I did say that. Fuck, I didn't see that, man. My bad. And then guess what? We move on, right? Let's say, for instance, I want to talk about like, I feel like you fucking up. Like, man, you fucking up, bro. I mean, you got tighten up and shit like this. And I'm telling you, as true friend, and you take it and we move on. So there is nothing like, oh yeah, man, you can say shit, you can say that, you can say this. But truly, when you're in front of me and, oh yeah, man, you're good, bro. Everything is good. You're doing good. That's the part. I struggle with that a lot. So that's why I don't have that many. I don't think the people from the United States truly understand what friendship
is. It goes
is.
back to that meaning of if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. To where if they have an expression or perhaps a feelings towards a certain matter, they're not going to say it right away. They're just not going to say nothing at all. They're going to tell you the short version of it. Oh yeah, I mean, you're good. It's all good. Don't worry about it. But the moment you walk away from them, they're gonna be their true self towards somebody else. And you can even look at it from a relationship perspective. Usually, you always see like whenever they got like a boyfriend or a girlfriend or husband or wife that splits, and all of them run back to their friends and have like nothing but dirty story to say about the other person. And to an extent, you gotta stop and think, you guys were married for 10, 12, 15, 16 years. If you was that bad, why in the hell you stick with him for that long?
Yeah.
Like that always like crossed my mind whether I'm dating a girl or I'm talking to a girl who got nothing but negative things to say about their exes. I gotta be like, how long you guys were together? Oh, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. Sometimes you even heard people who were married for like 10 years. And you're like, well, if he was that bad, yet you stick with him for that long, something doesn't quite add up. But it's one of those things where whether it's the wife or the husband, they stick together, whether it's for the kids or whatever the other reason might be, to where they just stay there and say to each other the type of stuff they feel like each other gonna want to hear to keep the relationship going. But deep down within their feelings, they don't feel like all those things they're saying.
And I think to me, like another, like it's just like they don't a 3 o'clock friend, like a 2 o'clock friend, somebody you can call
okay, like
anytime.
When you say a 2 or 3 o'clock friend, what do you mean by that?
I mean, like let's say somebody I can call right now. Say it doesn't matter what time it is. If he's available, no excuses. He's showing up. You know what I mean? He's just like a 3 o'clock friend. Somebody like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm talking like 2 o'clock in the morning for no matter what happened. If he's available, he's not gonna be like, oh man, like I'm hanging out, oh I was sleeping. No excuses.
And
What's going on?
And I feel like, in my opinion, from what I've seen, I don't think like 90% of Americans that got that friend.
Yeah, that's why I think a lot of people from the United States is kind of like struggle like with loneliness because you don't have somebody you can really count on. I got like at least 5. I mean, in the United States, I can say I got 3 friends that I can count at 4 friends. I can count at any time. It doesn't matter what time it is, whatever it is, they can always come through. We like me and you, we always say, like the people from the United States, bro, just wait for it. They're gonna do some shit that's gonna fuck you up some way, somehow. And that's why I've been here for 14 years, I only have one American friend, true American friend.
I ain't got none.
You see what I'm saying? It's really hard because it's based on principles. You know, they got some like, even though there is not, it's like an unwritten rules. I don't have to say, they got some shit, I don't have to say it. You should know it. You know what I mean? They got some boundaries. They got like things you can't do. I
Okay,
cannot talk shit behind your
that
back.
conversation is something me personally I've had with somebody else recently, and I was just telling them that the quote unquote all the respect that people tend to have among one another, especially coming from Haiti, is the respect, the what I can do to that person, what I cannot do, is because in Haiti there's no such thing as calling 911, and I'm sure you're aware of that.
Yeah.
If you do somebody dirty, if somebody feels disrespected to an extent, they're gonna take matters into their own hands to react towards it. And then when they take matters into their own hands, you don't know what they're gonna do. So therefore, whenever you're dealing with somebody, whenever you're quote unquote cool with somebody, you in a way kind of show them respect in that way, because you don't know how they're gonna react to certain things that you might do to them. It's kind of like you respect them and they respect you right back. And if for some reason you go above and do something perhaps they might not like, you will see them face to face and address the matter before it gets out of hand. But that's not something that they have out here, because I feel like everybody out here have this picture they're trying to portray to where there's this
It's a fake. It's so fake though.
like I said, a picture they try to portray that don't really quite like, it's nothing like them, but that's the picture they gotta portray in order to survive. They gotta try to act hard, they gotta try to act like they don't care, they gotta try to act like they hard. But truth of the matter is, whenever like me knowing you, me seeing you from a day-to-day basis, I don't feel like that picture you're portraying, whether it's on social media, whether it's something you want the world to see, that don't quite add up to it.
Yeah, I think that's why I think a lot of them like really struggle mentally. My best friends are like my therapists. You know what I mean? I can call at any time if I got something going on. I can let you know, and I know at the end of the day, you're not. By the time I turn around or after done get off the phone and you start blasting me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So because I know you know we got it like that, and I can call you at any time. You're going to show up. If I can't make it, you know I'm not lying about it. You know truly I can't make it. And if I can't make it, I can find it like, okay, man, look, let me try to make a phone call. Let me see if I can find somebody to help you some way, somehow. This is true friendship. And I think 90% of the population don't even know what true friendship is. I don't think they even have a 3 o'clock friend. I don't think they even have somebody they can call like truly in the back of the mind, like, man, he got me. Oh, she got me.
Like, truth of the matter is, like you said, you don't think me, to an extent, I feel like I know. And granted, I've lived in the United States for the past 14 years, and even though I've lived in the South and I've seen all those guys, I've partied with them, I've talked with them, I've worked with them, and so on and so forth. And I can tell you from what I've seen, I don't think they have that. Because for the most part, everybody trying to portray something. And that shit is the most weirdest shit to me. And me personally, I'm trying to portray me. Is me. So therefore, I don't mind people talking shit about me. If you talk shit about me, you talking shit about me. So therefore, even me got to look at the shit you're talking about to I can accept the relevance that they got within it, to where I got to be like, oh, I see what you mean. I've done this. I've said that. I could see why I've said that and you took it that way. But okay, I'll improve my word. I'll improve the way that I act. I will try to go this way instead of that way. But within Americans, they don't have that. They live within a world that's like made out of paper, not out of wood, to where it's kind of like it look pretty from afar, but it's not quite real.
Yeah, I think they truly like it like that, in the sense it's like a drama. You know what I mean? Like, I think like a lot of them are so miserable, like, because they have nobody. So when they, for instance, when they go to work, they start talking shit about somebody. They need to find somebody to talk shit about. And then it's just like, okay, man, well, okay, I get it. You're talking shit about it, cool. But they just keep on and on. And I'm like, okay, what are you doing it for? And it's like, they ain't got nothing better to do. So you tell me, so you ain't got shit to do. So talking and shit about somebody else. And sometimes he's like, I said, man, why don't you just tell him? Let him know. Let him know how you feel. And then y'all can work it out. And then that shit is done.
I'm going to tell you, see, that's the thing. That's the matter. I'm going to tell you, see how you said, like, let him know. And I'm going to tell you, like, to my experience, what come with that fear is me. Let's just say I know you. You're my friend. Let's just say if I walk in here and I don't like the shoes that you're wearing, I'm going to come in here. I'm not going to call you no name. I'm just going to tell you, man, those shoes ain't it. I would never wear the motherfuckers because they ain't it. And that's about all. But you be like, man, I like them. And then we move forward.
Yeah.
To where it's kind of like I never disrespected you. I never called you out of your name, but I've let you know that those shoes that you're wearing, I don't like them. And then to where I've said how I felt on the matter, and you somehow reply and be like, man, I like them. And then we move on. Because like I feel like in America, the culture itself is they don't know how to say how they truly feel without not seeing it as like a
Being disrespectful.
to where therefore they chose to go like a certain path that's untruthful because they feel like I don't want to be disrespectful, so let me take this path. But to me, you're not being disrespectful. If you look at me and say how that you feel about me, or rather, dude, you are ugly as hell, I'm able to accept it. That's how you feel.
I mean, I don't have a problem, like I was saying. I mean, everybody talking shit about somebody, you know, some way, somehow. I don't have a problem with people talking shit. Like I said before, when you talking shit, don't call that person you talking shit your friend. You said that was your friend. Cool. I was like, oh man, that's my friend. I've been knowing him. We cool. Like, oh really? I'm listening to your story. Like, oh yeah, man. We've been kicking it, man, all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. And then that was like let's say the three of us. You were saying how good your friend, and then when he stepped away, man, I can't stand that motherfucker, man. This motherfucker this. So now I'm just literally like,
dude, I see it all the time. Like, dude, I see it all the time. They do it. Two guys gonna sit there and look at each other in the face and talk shit to somebody about somebody else. They will go about it for like 2, 3, 4 hours. To an extent, me, I guess you may say, being a foreigner looking at it, thinking, oh, those two guys don't like that guy.
yeah.
And then the next day, one of those two guys gonna sit there with that guy and talk shit about another guy. So I'm like, dude, were you just sitting there talking shit about this guy? So therefore, if you truly felt that way about that guy, now there's your opportunity. You're sitting there looking at him in the eye. Why you don't tell him how you feel?
Yeah.
It's not a question of being disrespectful. This is a question of letting that guy know how you feel about.
I mean, if I can talk shit about you, in a sense. If I'm gonna talk to you, I can't do it. Like I can't do it, but I gotta let you know for me to talk to you.
Look, I've always said that. Now that you're saying that, I've always said that. I'm glad that you feel the way that way also. It's like I always tell my girl and all, and I've always told her that if I genuinely feel some type of ill way about you in my heart, there's no way I can build that emotion and feeling to be cool about you.
Yeah.
The next day, because I can't. Yesterday, when I thought to that guy, if I'm talking shit about you, if I'm talking to you about this guy, there's nowhere no more I can just sit there with that guy and talk shit about you.
I can't do it.
That shit can't do it, but I can't do it, but that's how they do it. But to an extent, I'm starting to feel like maybe that's the way they look at things just to get time to go by.
Yeah, but I mean, that's not, I don't think they make it seems like it's an okay thing, but it's not though.
It ain't.
You know, that was one of the second point I want to bring. People from let me look at the camera. People from the United States, you're not the only Americans. The America are a continent, just like Europe, just like Asia, just like Africa. I know you probably hear me say the Americas. It's because America is divided in two continents, North America, South America. But we got the Central America, but it's not a continent. So people from Canada are Americans. People from Mexico are Americans. If you want to go to the South America, so people from Brazil are Americans. People from Argentina are Americans. People from Chile are Americans. So if you want to even bring it, so let's say, for instance, right, people from Europe. Europe is a continent, right? So people from Europe is a continent, so they go by the continent. Nobody in Europe claim they're the only European. So you got people from France, they go by French, Germany, Germans, England, English, Italy, Italian. So if you want to go to Africa, South Africa, South African. So
you call them Africans no matter what.
Yeah, you know, so the whole everybody and the continent or the name of the continent.
The name of the continent overall.
So you're not the only Americans. You know, like even sometimes I even make the joke. I'm like, man, you should call yourself United States Stadium because you from the United States. You know what I mean? So I think I feel like I don't have a problem if you're gonna go around and say you're Americans, you wanna claim you're American, it's fine. But when you said, oh man, you Haitian, you're not American, you sound dumb as fuck. because you're not the only Americans. I mean, nobody from people from Canada, they don't
Like
claim
I'm,
they're like,
I'm gonna tell you personally what I feel like the issue is. Like USA, I mean United States of America, and I feel like the of America part that they've done claim it to themselves. To where it's kind of like, even though if you're from Canada, Mexico, Chile, Brazil, or wherever it is you're from, even though you got North America, which is made of Mexico, America, and Canada, and you got South America, which is made of Brazil, Uruguay, Chile, Argentina, and so on and so forth. Nonetheless, they're all America. You got North and you got the South. The USA then claimed the whole continent for themselves. And to an extent, like, you don't, it's weird. If you're not from America, it's going to seem this weird to you, to where it's going to be like, I've never heard a Canadian person call themselves Americans.
yeah.
I've never heard of a Mexican person call themselves American. I've never heard of like a Haitian or Jamaican or Trinidadian person call themselves Americans. I've never heard somebody from Chile or Brazil call themselves American.
Just like Europe. Nobody in Europe call themselves European. They go by the name of the country.
The name of the country, but you got this country, one country in America doesn't claim the whole title for the whole continent.
I mean, I don't have a problem if they, like, you know, if you want to go around and say you Americans, it's fine. But when you say any country from the, from the continent is not American, now you sound dumb as fuck. So I hope this little time right here, I had the time to educate y'all in that level, because it's just like me saying, I'm a man. Right? If I come to you, I say I'm a man. Okay, you'll be like, okay, cool. Right? If I go around and keep telling people I'm a man, they'll be like, cool. But if I said, shit, I'm a man, you're not a man, now I sound like ignorant, dumb. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously, you should know that you're a man too. You know what I mean? I should know that you're a man too. So that's, to me, it's just like when you said, oh no, man, you Haitian, you're not American. So I had a guy one time, he said, hey, man, do you have a green card? I said, no, I'm a U.S. citizen. He said, oh, you African American? I said, I've been an American. He said, no, man, you're not Haitian no more. You're African American. I said, do you even understand? Do you even know why they call him African American? So even though when I was in Haiti, technically, I always been an African American. So because we from, the reason is the descendant of Africa, right, and living in America. So in Haiti, I was living in America. So descendant, even though I don't know nobody in Africa, but if you want to go like calling me African American, so I said, man, you don't even know why they call him African American.
But
so
I feel like it's a terminology to where it's kind of like a title, even though the title don't quite make sense to what it truly means, but that's the title they give you. Like African American, you could have gained that title since you was in Haiti, because you came from Africa, and yet you within the continent of America.
Yeah, African American.
So definitely you could have claimed that title, but it's just what they call you. Like, it's one of those things to where it's kind of like, if you want to call a table a chair, you can, but it's not a chair, it's still a fucking table.
Yeah, but I mean, so to me, that's the thing. So I was asking him, so do you even know why they call him African American? It's because at first, you used to call him nigger. They didn't like it.
No, not nigger, nigger.
Niggers. They didn't like it. Then you call them black. They didn't like it too much. So then you come up with African American. But then I said, man, do you call yourself, he was a white guy. I said, do you call yourself European American?
Now that you're talking about, I got a serious question from you. Let's just say a white person is walking right now and call you nigger. Would that hurt your feelings?
No. I don't think so.
But see, that's the thing. I feel the same.
Yeah, but you know why though? I mean,
but for the sake of the culture, I feel the need to react.
No, but so the reason I didn't know racism till I come here.
Exactly.
So that's the difference. So I can understand people from the United States react when they call them those names because they grew up in that system.
And racism,
they raised being mistreated like this. I come from Haiti. We all black. So never I didn't know racism truly till I make it to the United States. So that's why when somebody I can see sometimes I feel like some black people being truly racist, but I get it. It's not like because they're being racist. It's just because I can understand it's based on frustration. But look, me from the outside looking in, I'll be like, damn, that's kind of fucked up. I mean, if you don't like what they doing, why you acting the same way? But, at the end of the day, I know I'm black. I know I'm supposed to react in a sense, but I don't think it doesn't hurt me like like you hurt them.
I agree with you 100%. Like if there's a white person that would walk in this room right now and call me niggers, I don't think it would mean anything to me. Yeah.
Me either.
But for the sake of the culture, you feel the need to react.
And because we've been living here for 14 years.
Yeah,
so
to where you understand that person being racist. But I feel like at the end of the day, you calling me that don't actually mean anything to me. Like, it don't affect me in any way, shape, or form. That's what you're saying, but what
you
power
remember,
does it have?
I don't know if you remember that story. Remember when we went to the Golden Nugget, and then we were sitting down and drinking, and then this lady coming, and she was like, we were speaking Creole. She was like, "Where you're from?" We say Haiti, and she was like the blood diamond, and we was just like,
I know that's not quite it.
no, ma'am, not like the blood diamond, but but I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think she was being racist.
I think she was being curious.
She was being. I think it's based on the ignorance, right?
That's exactly what it is, the ignorance of it all. Because I feel like a lot of time when you tell people you're from Haiti, they just assume that Haiti is just like a country in Africa.
You know what I mean? Because you're black. So people when see you black and you speak a different language, either two ways. It's like either they say you're Jamaican or somewhere in Africa. You know what I mean? So she was like, she said like blood diamond. I was like, no, ma'am, but Haiti is right there by Dominican Republic. But I don't think she was being racist. Just like a guy.
Look, like I'm gonna tell you what. And I feel like nowadays with cancel culture, people are just aiming on what you said to where they don't even waste time understanding the context on what you said it. They just say, you said that, we're just gonna put it and throw it on social media to where the world can just judge you. But for the most part, they never took the time to understand the context that you meant it. If there's a person that approached me and hear me speaking Creole and be like, "Are you Jamaican?" I'm not gonna be offended.
No, me either.
Because I'm going to be like, "Oh, no, I'm Haitian. We're from Haiti," and so on and so forth. And then, whenever you relay that information to them, they're going to be like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know."
But you know what? You know what, though? In the sense, I think that can save. I think the approach sometimes is wrong. Instead of saying, "You Jamaican," how about you say, "Where you from?" Yeah. So, you know what I mean? He'd be like, so now you could, or like, being wrong completely. Instead of saying, "Hey, you see me speaking because I'm black and I'm speaking a different language," instead of you saying, "Oh, are you African? Oh, you Jamaican?" Just say, "Where you from?" Yeah. And then that I can tell you, "Oh, I'm from Haiti."
It's just curiosity. It's just that curiosity. It's just that little the way the world works nowadays, the way people get insulted over anything, is the fact that if you don't get it right away, they're gonna take it as being offended, like being offensive. And what I mean by that is, if a white person, black person, a Japanese or Asian person approach me and be like, "Oh, are you Jamaican?" They asking me. So therefore, I feel like I got the privilege to tell them, "No, I'm not Jamaican." But to an extent, how they supposed to know I'm just as black as a Jamaican guy?
Yeah, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. So instead of saying somewhere that you might be wrong, how about you just ask where I'm from?
That's what I'm saying. Are
be
you
done
Jamaican?
with it.
Where you from? And so on
Or
and
you
so
just be
forth.
done, you know?
But a lot of people tend to get offended from it too.
I see a lot of people like
especially other
Spanish
cultures,
people.
Spanish people. If
Usually
you approach a Puerto Rican person and ask them if they're Mexican,
yes,
they're gonna get offended. But overall, y'all look alike. So therefore, I'm asking. I'm not no. I'm asking. Are you from Mexico? Oh no, man.
I can understand.
From Puerto Rico. Oh really? Oh my bad. What's up about it?
And so now you can say if you all in my bag.
Myself, World Cup.
But you can say
the
my
World
bad.
Cup, 2022 World Cup that happened last December. And I saw this guy, and he was like my car salesman. We were just talking about sports. He was like, he saw me watching soccer. He was like, "Oh man, you don't care about soccer?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I do care about soccer. What's your team hitting?" And at that time, Mexico just got eliminated from the World Cup. And I'm like, "Hey, man, I'm sorry about Mexico being eliminated." He was like, "Man, I'm from Guatemala. I'm not from Mexico." I'm like, "Oh, man, dude, I don't know. I didn't know that." But me personally, because you got to think about it. I met a Hispanic person in Houston, Texas, of United States of America. So therefore, I didn't understand, okay, there's a hard chance he's not from Mexico. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful, but you look Hispanic.
Ignorance, though.
Look, you look Hispanic and you live in Mexico. That means there's a hard chance you're from Mexico.
Yeah.
That's what I assumed.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to be disrespectful, but that's what I assumed to begin with. But he was like, "Oh, no, I'm from Guatemala. I'm not from Mexico." Oh, my bad, man. And he was all cool about it too.
Yeah. I mean, usually, some people get really offended about it. Some people are really cool about it. I mean, it doesn't bother me. I mean, so many times people come up to me and say, "Are you Jamaican?"
No,
No,
I'm
I'm not.
Haitian.
I'm Haitian. You know what I mean? It's
And
easier.
but I feel like nowadays we're in what you call being offensive culture, to where it's kind of like if you get something wrong, whether you just being ignorant about the matter, whether you did not know, if you get it wrong, people are ready to just point the finger at you and just call you being offensive. And I don't get that. Like, ignorance is bliss. What they mean by that is, if I don't know, I got the opportunity to just be as wrong as I can possibly be, because I do not know. I
Yeah,
acknowledge that I
then
don't know. So if I don't know, if I said something that makes sounding completely ignorant, I don't know. I can admit that I do not know. But when you say it, people just take what you said and run with it and just ignore the fact that you were being ignorant. You did not know. But you said it, that means you were trying to purposefully being offensive. So therefore, we're going to just take that and run with it. Which
Yeah.
don't make no sense to me at all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get offended by any of that. Right now, I want to talk about the football thing. I want to put this argument to bed, bro. It's been around for too long. Football, the real one, like, the one they call soccer out here, but I'm not talking about football. And when you play football, you use 90% of the time. Right, I'm going to go 90%. It can be higher than that, but I'm going 90%. You use your foot. 10% is the goalkeeper using the hand, and when the ball go out, you throw it, the hand. Right?
I
Foot,
agree.
90%. So foot, and it's the ball. Football, it makes sense, right? So the American football, they use 90% of the time, they use hand, and then what they call
10% or even less, they use their foot.
they use the foot.
They use their foot 2 times. Like, whenever, like, after a touchdown, they get to kick the ball back to their next team
And the field goal.
and a field goal. 2 times. That's the
two
only
times.
reason
So
they
that's
use
what
their
I call
foot.
10%. So 90% hand, and then the thing is, what they call a ball. I mean, a ball is supposed to be round, right? So
That shit is oval.
So the shape is an oval. So technically, this is hand oval. This is not football. This is hand oval. Call it what it is. So the whole world call it football. And then when you come
Yeah,
here,
not
they call it...
The whole world doesn't call it football. The whole world might call it American football.
No, I'm talking about the real football.
Oh,
the
the real
whole
football.
world call it football.
Oh, yeah,
When you come
absolutely.
here, they call it soccer.
Yeah.
Confusing as fuck. So then when you go like, okay, football. And when you watching the game, then football, you use your foot. So how this is even football?
And I think it's just a question of the name, honestly. If they that don't even make sense as to why they call it football. And then I think for most people that is not gonna stand out unless you know of the real football. And being in America, they call the real football soccer. And then you're gonna look at it to where you're gonna see, oh, I would see why they would actually call this sport football. Because for like 90 to 95% of the time, they use a foot to hit the ball. But when you look at the American football, you got a quarterback who throw that ball with his hands. You got a receiver or running back that get that ball with his hand and run with it. And then, it's called football. Like, what the hell does foot got to do with a ball within that sport? But that's the name they didn't give it. And that's what, for the most part, most people want with.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's soccer. What is that? What is soccer?
And I feel like that's the arrogance that America got within the world, where it's kind of like they can just say this. They can just look at the sky and say it's purple. And to an extent, most people within the world got to look at it and just go with it, even though it don't quite make sense. Rather, they just look at cricket and call it baseball. Whether they just look at football, the real football, the real foot kicking a ball into a net, and they just choose to call it soccer. And then they got another sport that they call football, but for 95% of the time, people touch that oval egg-shaped thing with their hands, but yet they call it football nonetheless. It's that arrogance that America got within the world, to where it's kind of like they're just gonna say something about like like a sport or whatever the case is, and most of the world gonna run with it because they're America.
Basketball. That make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's a ball
They
that
throw
goes
it
into a basket, like a circle of a rim. It might not be a basket, but it
look
looked
like a
a
basket.
rim.
Yeah, it looked like a basket.
Yeah.
And it's a ball, basketball. You know what I mean? So what is like when you call this football, I think, when I think about it, I feel like it was a business decision. So if the whole world gonna call this sport football, then we're gonna call ours football. When people come here, that's gonna bring the focus to that, like, this is not football. That bring attention to the sport. And I like this about this country, that one sport, they can make it become a religion, because the Super Bowl is the whole world. They might not watch it, but you heard about
even
it.
though everything that you're currently saying right now is basically alleged, to it's kind of like we don't know for sure.
Yeah,
like 100% sense as of what they would call that's their sport, football, the same name as the most popular sport within the world, but yet their sport ain't got nothing to do with a foot and a ball.
Hand over. I mean, let's call it hand over.
So when I see people make a big deal about football, and I'm like, man, that don't make no sense to me, dude. Like, you get this weird ass sport where this guy with a hand catch an oval ball, like that. It's so oval to where you can just do this with
You're
your
not gonna
hand
say
and catch
it's an oval thing, not a ball.
and then
oval.
throw it to the fellow guy. You can. There's two ways. You can throw it. You can give it to a running back and run with it. And that's about all there is to it. For the most part, about 90% of the time, your hand is touching that ball, but yet you call it football. Has anybody stopped and wonder, wait, why in the hell is that shit called football? That don't make sense, but yet that's what they choose to run with. And then nobody never stopped and wondered about it. Unless you're like an immigrant, someone who had a chance to see shit otherwise, to where you're going to be like, wait, I get what the real soccer is called football, because for about 90 to 95% of the time, they kick it with their foot. A basketball, they throw a ball within a rim that somewhat look like a basket.
Yeah.
But when you call football, and you like, for the most part, they throw that shit with their hands, but yet they do it nonetheless. And that's how they choose to go about it. And that's about you can just accept it. It might not make sense. You just run with it.
Yeah, I mean, I never get it. Just like, even though they got people that say Tyreek Hill is faster than people playing the wheel football.
Man, I'm glad you brought that whole subject up. I got a coworker, and I was watching a soccer game one time. He was like, man, I don't know why you're watching that stuff, man. Those guys not even that fast. They're not even that athletic. And I'm like, what do you mean? He was like, man, and I promise you, I bet there's not a single soccer player that's faster than Tyreek Hill. And I looked at him, the whole shit that he said looked so ignorant. It looks so ignorant and yet stupid. And I was like, I don't even think you understand what you're talking about, dude. Tyreek Hill would probably be the slowest, one of the slowest soccer players out there.
Man,
you never. I told him, have you ever watched soccer? He's like, yeah, sometime here and there. I looked at it like during the World Cup. I might just take the time to look at it, and I'm like, you don't understand. That's one of the sports that require the most speed in the world. Like, those guys run for a living. Even the slowest guy within that sport run all the time. So therefore, you're not gonna sit there and look at that sport like you're looking at quote unquote football, y'all sport, and just think you guys. The only thing you guys bring within your sport is, what's the word I'm thinking about? Like, you guys are more physical.
Yeah. I mean, because it's a physical game.
Yeah, you guys are more physical.
But I think Mbappe will smoke Tyreek Hill
Man,
all
every
day.
single soccer player that I know, I can go on and on. I can go for Mudryk, which is the guy that played at Chelsea. I can go for Mbappe, which is the guy that played at Chelsea. I can go to Rafael
Mbappe
Leao.
played at PSG.
I can go to Rafael Leao, which is the guy that played for AC Milan. I can go to
Vinicius.
Adama Traore, which is one of them guys that played for
Wolves.
No, not Wolves. He don't play for Wolves no more. I think he played for Fulham.
Yeah, he played
For Fulham. We can go from Vinicius. We can go to Rodrigo, and I can go on and on and on. And I can give
Rashford.
Rashford.
But I think right now.
And I'm gonna tell you what makes this whole thing interesting. I can give you about 20 soccer players that is faster than the fastest football player in the world.
Yeah, because I mean, Tyreek Hill. Don't get me wrong. Tyreek Hill is fast.
Tyreek Hill is fast, but he's not soccer fast. He's not football fast.
I think Mbappe will
Mbappe,
smoke,
Vinicius, Adama Traore,
smoke.
Rodrigo, Rafael Leao, and let me see,
all will
Modric
smoke.
from Chelsea. What else do we
Smoke.
got? All them guys will smoke
Tyreek
that
Hill.
dude in a foot race.
All day.
All day, any day, and every day, because that's all they do within that sport. It's not a question of running a route. Football players run route to where they just trying to trick the next guy who's trying to mock them. A soccer player got a whole football they got to control, while you got a defender trying to get that ball from you. That is true speed. Like an average football player weight from like 180 to 200, and we're talking about a receiver. A soccer player weight from like 140 to 160, 170-ish, which means they're lighter and they faster.
Oh yeah, man, all day. I'm telling you, if this video ever get viral, I will pay money. I mean, I would love to see Mbappe versus Tyreek Hill, so
Dude,
we can put
I would
this.
sell my house.
We'll put this. I mean, this argument to bed. Tyreek Hill versus Mbappe, it will smoke
Look, listen,
Tyreek Hill.
now you said that, look,
Mbappe,
listen.
if you're watching,
I'll sell-
Tyreek Hill, if you're watching, if this ever got viral, I can't wait to see this because I know for a fact I got everything on Mbappe. Mbappe, I got my life on you, bro. I know you will smoke Tyreek Hill in a heartbeat.
Man, I'd put my house.
But I put my life
I'm
on
not
that.
even gonna go Mbappe. I'd go Modric or Chelsea.
I think Rashford will smoke Tyreek Hill,
See,
bro.
I'm just gonna go the highest guy that I know. I'm not even gonna go any lower. Like in a 40, Modric would make fucking Tyreek Hill look like he's staying still. Like he's staying still.
What was that? The Flash.
Yeah,
It was like you probably think
it
like
make that dude look like he's standing still, but the fact that people are not like knowledge enough to just know about different sport, and yet they just look at Tyreek Hill like he's one of the fastest human beings
I mean,
alive.
don't get me wrong, he's fast.
He's fast,
But he's not Mbappe
but I'm
fast.
used to seeing fast. I grew up seeing Kaka. You know
Yeah,
Kaka,
Kaka, yeah.
the soccer player that played
Yeah.
for AC Milan and Real Madrid, running laps around people,
Oh yeah.
like day in, day out.
Oh yeah.
And
I'm telling you.
But I had this story, and I know that story may not be relevant, but I'm gonna say it anyway. They got this story about this dude who was jokingly explaining. Have you ever seen that soccer game when Messi was running with Kaka?
Yeah.
Okay, that dude was talking about. I was still in school. He was like, man, Messi was running with Kaka, and he just took off, and Kaka left him standing still, and then got to a point that dude was like, help. But
Oh shit! You know who else? You know who else? I mean, right now, he probably can't run no more. Gareth Bale. Oh my gosh! I mean, Tyreek Hill will look like a turtle, bro. Gareth Bale will make Tyreek Hill look like a turtle running, bro. I'm telling you, Gareth Bale will run lap. I'm talking about. Let's say if we was gonna run a lap, Gareth Bale will run the lap twice and pass Tyreek Hill again, and he'll still not finish. But I'm
they
telling
don't
you,
know.
bro.
But I don't think they know. I don't think they know the speed that you need. Like within football, them guys they use speed to just evade like a fellow opponent. But within soccer, the speed that you use for the most part is like on a straight line race. It's kind of like there's a ball. It's either they got a pass coming and yet you're trying to evade your defender to get to the pass, or you got the ball within your feet and you're just trying to push it past the defender and use your pace to go past them. And I don't think people that do not understand soccer will never make any sense of what I'm saying right now. Because when you look at football, and even though I've never really played football, but I understand it to an extent. When you look at football, you got like the receiver who's trying to confuse the DB to where it's kind of like they're trying to make you believe they're going to go this way, but yet that way, just so you can just open this little 2 second or half a second worth of a separation so they can catch a football. But in soccer, it's different. You need more than that half a separation. You got that ball in your feet. It's not like you can just grab it with your hand and just snatch
Okay, it's
it.
easy to run with it with your hand and
They
control
usually
it with your
grab
hand.
it and they snatch it
Yeah.
under their arm.
And they run it with
and
it.
they run with it. But
It's
now
easier.
you got that in your foot. And
Man.
yet you got like a fellow guy that's running after you,
Yeah.
trying to tackle you, trying to pull you with their arm, trying to get that ball from you. That speed is different.
Oh yeah, way different.
Way different to an extent. Like even if you use common sense, Tyreek Hill got to be heavy because football is a physical sport.
Yeah.
And I think Tyreek Hill is like 190, 200 pounds. I think I looked it up recently. That's what it is, about 190, 200 pounds. Mbappe not even 160.
I'm telling you. I mean, I don't think whoever believed that, Tyreek Hill believed that, you're not fast compared to Mbappe, to Vinicius, to Rodrigo. I think even right now, Gareth Bale will want a lot.
But the speed is not the same. I've seen it. And I know like whenever you watch it on TV, you can't quite make the comparison, but the speed is not the same. Like Gareth Bale, the guy you're talking about. Like you see two people running a foot race and then one take a longer route. Like the Barcelona game versus
and
Real Madrid.
It's
kind of like the guy took a longer route, but yet still make it to the final destination before the guy that was going to the shorter route.
Bro,
that is true speed.
That's true speed right there.
But people that don't waste time watching soccer would never even begin to comprehend, yet alone understand what the hell you and I were talking about. That's how they want to go about it.
And I think truly we had a good discussion today. I think we touched some good points. I think the friendship one was really, really a good one. I think the American thing was a really good one. I hope this put the between the football and the soccer thing to bed. So from now on, it's no longer
let me go ahead
football.
Let me go ahead and state that for the people. The only thing American football will ever have on soccer is physical. Nothing. It's not more athletic. It's not faster. It's not more intelligent. It's none of those things. The only thing American football will ever have on soccer is that physical aspect of things. Those guys are taller, bigger, and stronger. And nothing else.
The real football, not the handover one, the real football is more popular all over the world.
El Clasico. People that know soccer will know what that means. I'm not even going to go to the details of that. El Clasico got more views than the Super Bowl could ever possibly dream of having.
Well, but the World Cup.
The World Cup is elite. I'm not even going to go elite.
Yeah, but you know
I'm not even going to go elite with those guys. Because if I go to the World Cup, that's me comparing my best versus your best. I'm not even going to waste my time.
Since we're in that subject, bro.
I don't even want to go there. I don't want to compare the best of a sport versus another best on another sport. If I say the World Cup versus the
Super Bowl,
it ain't even fair.
It's not even
so
fair.
Therefore, this is me comparing a regular rivalry.
What I'm talking about is how, in the finals, like basketball finals.
Look, listen, I'm gonna leave it at that.
Super Bowl finals.
I'm gonna leave it at that. The Champions League final got more views than the NBA final. No. The NBA final. I've looked it up. I know for sure. The Champions League final got more views than the NBA final and the Super Bowl final combined.
Oh yeah, that's for fact. No, what I'm gonna say right now. Listen to this. I said I don't get when you got the Super Bowl, the NBA final. Whoever team win, they call it the world champion. You only in the United States. How you the world champion?
That shit don't make no fucking sense to me. I think no allows touched up on that last year. And I remember and I was looking at it and I was like, dude, that makes sense. Because you got different teams that came from different states. Whether you're the LA Lakers that came from Los Angeles, whether you're the Memphis Grizzlies that came from Memphis, whether you're the New York Knicks that came from New York, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And all those teams are based off different players. Some of those players are foreign, some of them are local. And being world champions, because if America was world champions, let's just say whether it's with the Golden State Warriors or the LA Lakers or with the Denver Nuggets, whatever team it is that won it, the name is within it. The Denver, which is a state within the United States, and the Nuggets, which is the name of the team, won the NBA final.
Yeah.
What the hell makes you the world champion?
You're not the world champion, bro. Yeah, if you win the Olympics, I can get the world champion. Just like basketball got the World Cup now too. I mean, you the world champion.
You the world champion. If you face any other country, then win.
But you
within
within the United States, you're not the world champion.
Like you just a United States champion.
You're the United States champions. That's
but
it.
They never looked at it like that. But it's it's one of those arrogant things that we've touched upon or touched upon. The arrogance and the name and the way people in a way take things. How in the hell you get to face many other teams that from different states within the America, and then yet once you win it, you dare to call yourself world champions? How are you within a country, within a continent, whether you want to split the continent within two places, whether it's South America, North America, or Central America, but yet you dare to call yourself Americans. It's kind of like you cover it all.
Yeah, yeah. So that was what.
Is that arrogance? And I feel like all that arrogance started after World War II.
That's
where all that arrogance
true.
started at. I am in love with America, but for the most part, certain things, certain way they dare to call things, certain things don't quite make sense. Especially when you stop and think about it. The fact that people that from the United States dare to call themselves Americans, that don't add up.
United Stadium.
Oh, that's however they may want to call it. The fact that people dare to call their sport football, and then you grew up in a different country to where the football that I know is a different sport, and then whenever you get here, they choose to call it soccer, and the sport that they call football don't even make sense. I'm like, dude, I look at your sport, 98% of the time you guys touch that ball with your hand. So what makes you think you guys can dare call y'all sport football? And certain things that don't quite make sense, like certain things that just sound so arrogant, but yet that's what they choose to run and go with. But we're just gonna leave it at that. USA all day.
All right, I think that's it, man. I think that was really good talk.
Oh yeah,
I enjoyed it.
We're just gonna leave it at that. This is the Haitian Kings. My name is Hugo Valcourt, and his name is
Vadim, and this is the Haitian King Podcast.
Follow, subscribe, love, and share.
Yeah.
And that's how we're gonna leave it to.
Support the brother.
Support us. We just trying. We're new.
We just trying.